The Commando movie begins with an approaching garbage truck, stirring a couple from their slumber. The man voices concerns about the unusual Tuesday pickup, while the woman speculates a schedule change. Hastily grabbing the garbage, he rushes to the truck, fearing they might miss the collection. The garbage men, armed and ominous, assure him they won't, tragically shooting him. The next day, the same man is seen at a car morgue acquiring a vehicle. While the salesperson elucidates its comfort and origin, the man speeds away, colliding with him in the process. Revealing himself as a serial killer, the movie depicts him nonchalantly detonating a boat during another mission. The narrative then introduces the audience to a man named John Matrix and his daughter Jenny, portraying them sharing heartfelt father and daughter moments. During their breakfast, the tranquility is shattered as John Matrix suddenly spots an approaching helicopter. Concerned, Jenny questions the presence of the Army helicopter, recalling John's promise not to go anywhere. John reassures her, making a solemn pledge that he won't leave. As the helicopter lands, General Franklin Kirby emerges with 2 soldiers, instructing them to secure the area. The general informs John about an unknown assailant targeting his men, possibly due to a leak in their new identities. Despite John's inquiries, the general remains uncertain about the perpetrator's identity, but vows to investigate. Expressing concern for their safety, John questions the competence of the soldiers assigned to protect them. The general acknowledges their capability, but admits they aren't as skilled as John once was. After the general departs, a sudden ambush claims the lives of the soldiers, propelling John into action. In a tense moment, John grabs Jenny and seeks cover. He instructs her to stay in her bedroom, while he retrieves his rifle from the shed. Returning to the house, John encounters a man waiting, offering a sinister deal involving Jenny's safety and John's cooperation. Unwavering, John responds with lethal force, eliminating the threat. With determination, John rushes to his jeep, sending it careening down a hill in pursuit of the assailants who have kidnapped his daughter. The high-speed chase intensifies, culminating in a dramatic crash as John narrowly escapes before the vehicle erupts in flames. Undeterred, John confronts the assailants, only to find himself outnumbered and at gunpoint. After this, an acquaintance of John, Bennett, arrives with vengeance, asserting that after John had him removed from their unit, he had been patiently awaiting payback and declared that today was the day, promptly shooting him. Upon regaining consciousness, Bennett discloses that it was a tranquilizer and expresses a desire to have used a real gun. John immediately inquires about his daughter. Arius, the boss, intervenes, asking if John remembers him, to which John affirmatively replies, labeling him a scumbag and referencing the people he tortured and killed. Arius nonchalantly responds, stating that the country, Val Verde, needs a president with an understanding of discipline. He informs John that he must go to Val Verde and assassinate the president for him, Arius, to be elected. John questions why they don't assign Bennett for such a wicked task, given his suitability. Arius responds, stating that John is the right person due to his proximity to the president. John declines the offer, leading them to use Jenny as a hostage to coerce him. They threaten to mail her to him in pieces if he doesn't comply. This compels John to accept the offer. The next day at the airport, Bennett assigns 2 men, Enriquez and Sully, to escort him. Sully is tasked with ensuring he boards the plane, while Enriquez is there to guarantee his departure. Inside, Sully attempts to strike up a conversation, mentioning his past military service as he hands over John's passport and $1, suggesting he buy a beer upon arriving in Val Verde. John responds, expressing his liking for Sully and revealing his plan to kill him last. On board, John requests a blanket and a pillow from the flight attendant. Armed with these items, he effortlessly incapacitates Enriquez, breaking his neck. John then arranges the pillows behind Enriquez's head, creating the illusion that he is peacefully sleeping.
Do me a favor. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired.
He inquires with the flight attendant about the duration of the flight, and she informs him that it will take approximately 11 hours. Following this, he discreetly navigates to the rear of the plane, searching for a potential escape route. Upon finding one, he bravely leaps from the plane, descending into a body of water. Resetting his watch for 11 hours, he swiftly returns to the airport, determined to locate Sully. Spotting Sully, he cautiously approaches, aiming to remain undetected. Meanwhile, Sully attempts to charm a girl named Cindy, but she responds dismissively, expressing annoyance at his persistent advances. Observing from a distance, John tails them as Sully follows Cindy to the parking lot, attempting to impress her. Cindy firmly rejects his advances, prompting Sully to respond rudely and depart. In a strategic move, John emerges, entering Cindy's car and instructing her to follow Sully. He reveals that his daughter has been kidnapped, and Sully is the key to finding her. John directs Cindy to feign interest in Sully and, while doing so, subtly lead him towards John. Emphasizing that this assistance is temporary, John assures Cindy that she can return to her normal life after aiding him in this mission. Cindy complies with his instructions. However, instead of following John's instructions, Cindy reports to the police, falsely claiming that she had been kidnapped. This sparks a commotion, inadvertently revealing John's presence to both law enforcement and Sully. Upon spotting John, Sully rushes to inform Arius about his adversary's presence, but his attempt is thwarted as John chases him to a phone booth, violently shaking it before lifting and hurling it to the ground. With the police now in pursuit of John, Sully seizes the opportunity to escape. John efficiently deals with the pursuing police, resuming the chase after Sully. The pursuit unfolds into a prolonged car chase, reaching its climax on a desolate road. John maneuvers close to Sully, executing a side impact that causes both cars to crash. Seizing the moment, John interrogates Sully about the whereabouts of his daughter. Sully claims ignorance but implicates Cook, one of Arius's associates, who supposedly knows and needs to be met that night. John, determined to get answers, hangs Sully upside down from a cliff, coercing him to reveal the meeting location. Extracting this information from a key Sully possessed, John reminds him of a prior promise to kill him last. Sully confirms the memory, but John asserts that he lied, unexpectedly releasing Sully. After this, John and Cindy headed to the location indicated on the key, an apology extended by John to Cindy for involving her. Seizing the moment, Cindy inquired about the situation. John proceeded to provide a thorough explanation, revealing that his daughter had been kidnapped, compelling him to undertake a certain task. During this disclosure, he shared a picture of his daughter with Cindy. Upon seeing the image, Cindy made the decision to assist John in retrieving his daughter. Upon arriving at the motel where Sully was set to meet with Cook, they diligently searched for any leads that could lead them to Jenny. Cook eventually arrived, prompting John to instruct Cindy to dishevel the bed while he activated the shower. Subsequently, John, behind the door, guided Cindy in simulating a positive encounter with Sully. Upon Cook's entrance, John swiftly struck him, initiating a confrontation between the two that ultimately resulted in Cook's accidental demise. Expressing regret over Cook's death, John acknowledged him as their sole lead to finding his daughter. Despite the disappointment, John searched Cook and discovered his car key, which he employed to search his vehicle. Within the vehicle, Cindy uncovered a receipt from a fuel depot supplying planes. She disclosed that she was pursuing a pilot's license, connecting the receipt to her instructor's fuel source. John speculated that Arius must be keeping his plane there, prompting them to proceed to the location. Upon arrival, John identified a map with a private island and swiftly concluded that this is the place where his daughter is being held. Cindy discovered a photograph of an airplane, indicating it as the means used to fly to the island, and revealed that the plane is located in San Pedro. John inquired about the duration it would take to reach the island and return. Cindy responded, stating it would take approximately 2 hours. Armed with this information, John devised a plan to go shopping. At the location, he utilized a tractor to forcefully enter a gun store. Inside, they procured weapons and gears, but their actions led to John getting apprehended and arrested by the police. While in the back of the police truck, John asserted that contacting General Franklin Kirby would clarify the situation. The officers dismissively ridiculed him, mentioning they had encountered Kirby just the previous week. Cindy continued to follow the police until they reached a deserted road, where she unleashed a rocket launcher, causing their vehicle to crash. Seizing the opportunity, John escaped. Afterward, they proceeded to the plane. Simultaneously, Bennett and Arius confined Jenny to an isolated room, where she attempted to escape. After John and Cindy located the plane, they are spotted by soldiers, leading to a heated shootout. John successfully eliminated the soldiers after a brief but intense confrontation. Upon reaching their destination, they landed on an isolated part of the island, where John geared up with weapons and equipment. Following this, he used binoculars to scout the area. Shortly after, the plane landed in Valverde, revealing the demise of Enriquez. Two of Arias's men discovered this, and promptly ran to inform him. Arias, in turn, informed Bennett that John wasn't on the plane, instructing him to kill his daughter. John covertly initiated the elimination of soldiers before being detected. This triggered a prolonged shootout, resulting in the deaths of soldiers and the explosions of buildings. After sustaining injuries from a grenade, he sought refuge in a nearby shed, attending to his wounds. When soldiers located the shed, a shootout ensued. Once the shooting ceased, John revealed his location by taking cover in the ceiling. Utilizing the tools inside, he overpowered the soldiers and acquired a formidable weapon. Following this, Jenny managed to escape. In a state of agitation, Bennett chased after her. John navigated through gunfire to locate Arias, leading to a brief but intense shootout, ultimately resulting in Arias's demise. After the interlude, John makes his way to locate Jenny but unexpectedly gets shot by Bennett, who has Jenny as a hostage. John starts urging Bennett to release Jenny and face him, emphasizing that he is the one Bennett truly wants. Simultaneously, he invites Bennett to stick his knife into him, as that's what he desires. Agitatedly, Bennett accepts the offer, discarding his gun, claiming he doesn't need it, as he can defeat John. This leads to a brief knife fight where both men inflict cuts on each other. After a moment, the intensity of the fight escalates, resulting in both men falling downstairs. A short fist fight ensues, culminating in John thrusting an iron pipe into Bennett's stomach, leading to his demise.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
The movie concludes with the general arriving at the scene. He invites John to rejoin the unit, to which John responds, stating that this was his last mission.